Welcome back. It's cold in the shop. It's cold in the shop today. Glad to be back on my feet. COVID, my last video said I was probably going to get COVID. I did within the next day. I probably had it while I was filming, but it was about the same as the last two times, so no biggie. Just tired and coughing a lot still, so just trying to get on top of that, get back to better. A lot of energy better today. Got a big long sleep last night, so it works good. So as you can see, it's cold in the shop today. It's gonna be beautiful tomorrow. It's gonna be above 50 outside tomorrow, maybe even into the 60s. Some of the tasks, you can see the temp today right now. That's what we got. And we've got the stove glowing. So I'm warm. I'm not uncomfortable. It's just chilly. I think today I could weld some patches, and I've got a weld where I made a cut that I shouldn't have made a cut on. We talked about that way back a bunch of videos ago, when I cut the support beam in the back, thinking I needed to get this top panel off. That was a mistake. So I have this big long run of cut that I really need to weld back together. So I think I'm going to do that today and patch underneath. I'm looking at these patches here. So here, this one maybe doesn't need a patch over the top. So I'm gonna investigate that a little bit harder. I may just weld that break back together. You can see the rust that's formed in 3 weeks in here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll get all the rest off of that. Then I'm gonna probably just weld that back together and weld, how do they call that, seal with the weld, and just make sure that that's watertight again. I think that might be the one I'm gonna do that way. I also need to fix this one up here. So this is, as you're well aware, this is where the sunroof drain used to come out and run along the back. Good job, light. And run across. So it comes out here, runs back across the back of the truck, and then drains down here. I'm gonna rerun that. I'm gonna run it from the sunroof, but I'm inside the B pillar here. I'm gonna cut on the inside, actually. I'm gonna cut a hole, and I'm gonna run that down the back side underneath here, and it'll come out underneath the back behind the mud flap. So it won't be there anymore. So this hole will be eliminated. This hole, all of this will be patched. You can see the white box I've drawn around it. That's the patch size. I'm gonna patch over the top of that. So that's gonna be that one. I can't do that one because I need to paint this one. So that one really can't happen today. Unless it just warms up greatly in here. Also on this side, the back side here, I need to fix those two cuts where I made those two cuts into the panel. That's a fill. And then I'm gonna weld patches over the top of both of these. Again, you can see the rust forming. I'm gonna grind that rust down and do that. So there'll be a little bit of welding today. And then hopefully tomorrow I can cover all of that with primer and then paint of some kind, or underneath there, I think that's the bed liner, rubber rhino, blah blah, whatever we call it, stone chip paint, rhino liner, bed liner, whatever, that rubbery stuff. I'm gonna spray that underneath there after I get it all covered with why am I struggling for so many words when I get it covered with primer? So we get that done. All right, so that's the gist of it for today. I think I'll run the camera, we'll get some video for you, and I think that's it. All right. Nope, blowing right through it. Nope. Too thin, blowing right through it. Alright, that's blowing right through it. We're gonna have to patch it. Alright, let's get some patching done. Let's get that ground off. Get that. On the grind already. There's the coughing. not at all disappointed in that. That actually looks pretty good. Comparatively speaking, I think it'll work. I'm gonna grind it down after it cools a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna call that a patch. Okay, this is going terribly. Other than that, I can't see. I'm doing great. Golly. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong here. Maybe I should sensitivity change this thing. That turned out pretty good. I'm not really all that disappointed with it. I mean, considering my welding skills, that turned out pretty moderately good. Let's see if I can get the camera in place so I can get to see that bead. No, that's a terrible shot. Let's see if I got enough battery to run that just off the post. Hang on. All right, so that turned out pretty okay. Anyway, there was a huge long cut there, and now there isn't, and that is now welded together. But this piece, pretty bad. So rust has gotten there, torn it up, so I built a patch. So we're gonna put a patch there, and the patch is primarily to keep water out of there. So we're gonna weld that corner up right there. You can see the gap there. We're gonna weld that back in, and then we'll put this patch in its place and hopefully mitigate the water, at least from the top. This all may be folly. I'm looking, it's probably folly. Let me pause for a second. It's folly. I'm not even gonna bother. If you think about it, the bed is gonna come over the top of this anyway. So the bed is going to be along this whole edge, because I mean this is my weld points right here. There's no point to patching. So we'll call it good. The other thing is there's a rust spot underneath, right below. I don't know if you can see my finger wiggling back underneath there, but yeah, that's not going to work. So we'll call it good with that. See it kind of. Anyway, all right, let's call it good. That's a lot of video. That will be crunched down. You're gonna see a lot of I'm talking to you after the fact, but you just watched a lot of compressed video, probably like 7 times faster than it would have been in real life. So an interesting point, the welding gas valve here froze up. Got pretty crusty with frost. Thankfully the heater's running full blast and I'm almost out of heat, so excuse me, out of kerosene, so I gotta get some more kerosene in there so I can stay out here for a little longer. It is not gonna make it to 50 degrees today. We're creeping up on 46, 44, so this is not gonna make it for painting today, but tomorrow it's supposed to be a lot better. So we're going to do some more work tomorrow. We'll get a bunch of more patches put in place on the back fender well. I think I'm going to be done with the fender well tomorrow. If I cut the pieces right and I get everything primed and painted and covered, and it's hot enough for that the paint can happen, I should have the right rear fender well. I should have this completely buttoned up, completely done. It's 3 patches for the B pillar, running the line, and then fixing that patch on the back there. It's all within one day. I can get it all done one day. I'm not worried about that. It's gonna be a lot of work to get that filmed though. See that cough? You just can't stop it. It's gross. All right. Okay, that's all I got for this week. It's still chilly. It's 44 degrees out here, 42, 43. It's chilly. Tomorrow I'm going to get, my goal on the next video is to complete the rear right passenger side, whichever side, depending on which world you're in. We'll get that buttoned up and completed. I received my B-pillar part from YRM. I was talking to Richard at Church House Classics, and he said sometimes these parts come, they're too big. They actually will fit over the existing piece, and you can see that it fits over. Oh, now you can see that it fits over the old piece. So he said, cut it in half and weld it back together. It's a lot of cutting in half and welding back together. But I only need about this much of it. So some of this isn't even going to be used. I've got to weld that. I got to weld a brace to hold that B-pillar. Oh man, what are you doing with your camera? I got to weld some kind of a brace to hold that B-pillar, and this door has to come off in order to fix this piece. So that'll probably be a separate video in another couple of weeks. So we'll get to it coming soon, as they say. Like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hook up Patreon if you can do that. I appreciate that very much too. Have a good week. Thank you.